Hey guys, Dr. Ben here. I want to give you the number one thing that you need to be doing if you're a doctor or a tech doing exams to increase your conversions. This is going to be closing doctor's reports, getting people back to the doctor's report from a day one, is you have to understand this one principle. If you are not doing this right, you are just trashing your statistics. You're going to be so much better. So the big question is are you Yoda or are you Luke Skywalker? Right? This comes out of a book called Story Brand by Donald Miller. But it is so true. This is the secret sauce. If you want to know why somebody is good at sales or good at getting people to move and motivate them, it's because they're good at this. As they understand one purpose. Who are you, by the way? What do you think? You should be Yoda. We are Yoda. The patient is Luke Skywalker. So if you remember this story, hopefully we've got some Star Wars nerds out there. I'm not a Star Wars nerd, but I do enjoy it. Is going to be, remember we're in that woods scene there, and Luke comes in and he's learning the Force, right? So what he's trying to do is defeat the Death Star. Remember, the Death Star is highly guarded by the Imperial Force, I'm pretty sure, right? And it's really bad. And Luke Skywalker has the Force. It's not Yoda's job to go and say, Luke, come with me. I'm going to defeat the Force or defeat the bad guys. You're going to come with me. Yoda is teaching Luke Skywalker that the Force is inside of him, okay? So that is what we need to be doing with our patients. We're not telling them how good we are. We are letting them know that their body is designed to heal from the inside out. We're going to lead them to health. Now, let me show you what I mean by this. This comes in the form of questions. All right, so you don't hear Yoda saying, Luke, this is what you need to do. You need to really think really hard, Luke, and pick up that log, and you need to think really hard against Darth Vader, and that's how you're going to beat him. You need to think really hard. No. What does Yoda do? Yoda asks questions. He makes Luke Skywalker come up with the answer, right? Luke Skywalker's the hero. So how do we position our questions? As a chiropractor, the doctor going through the new patient exam, going through the doctor's work close, or anybody who's doing the new patient exam, we need to ask our patients questions. And remember, I will never ask a question that I'm not expecting to use that answer for something that I'm doing, right? So what that's going to look like is this. Let's say somebody did a new patient exam. They shot their x-rays, they did a new patient exam, they got their adjustment, now they're coming back. They just got done watching the doctor's report video, and you go to sit down, and you say, hey Jim, we adjusted you yesterday. How does your back feel, right? How does your back feel from your adjustment the other day? I'm not saying that because I'm using that information, right? So Jim, how does your back feel? My back feels better. Oh, great, that's awesome. Next thing. That's terrible, that's terrible. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that. So Jim, how did your back feel after that adjustment the other day? Well, it feels a little better. Jim, that's great. I'm so excited that your back is feeling better. Now here's where we're Yoda. Remember, Yoda knows the Force. He knows what to be expected, what happens, and how people go through this process. So I'm not going to say, oh great, I'm glad your back is better. Next topic. I'm going to say, great, I'm glad to hear that your back is feeling better. Now we find that a lot of times people, they get adjusted and their back feels better within a day or two, the muscles start to tighten back down. Did that happen to you? Well, you know what? I think it did. Okay, well guess what? So now again, we're using this information. We're having a conversation. We are Yoda. I think it did feel it did start to tighten back down. Okay, great. Oh, well, listen, I'm sorry that it tightened back down, but I'm going to be honest with you. That's kind of great news, Jim. That tells us that we are exactly right on the problem. And that's why corrective chiropractic is going to be so valuable for you, because we need to move the bones, but that's why we have to stabilize it. And that's what makes us different from other chiropractors, is we're going to stabilize your back. What? That is the sale. So what we did there in the question was we just sold them on corrective chiropractic, or at least understanding the value of that. I didn't just, how's your back pain? It's better. Okay, good. Let me sell you on corrective chiropractic. No. How's your back pain? It's better. Well, that's great. That precipitates the conversation. That allows us to be Yoda and make sure that they understand that they're Luke. We're going to move the bone so your back heals. We're going to show you how to strengthen so you can heal this. We're going to give you the tools. Now watch this. So how does your back feel after your first adjustment? I'll be honest with you, it didn't feel any better. Oh, listen, I'm really sorry to hear that. That sounds like that unfortunately your back is in rough shape. It's been taken 30 years to get to this point. It's going to take a little bit of time to move it, and that's why our corrective chiropractic is so valuable, because we have a process to loosen it and strengthen it. So that sells them on chiropractic. Okay, good. I use that information to actually intelligently tell people what they need to do for the next step. That makes sense, right? Y'all getting that? So I'm not just saying, how's your back feel after your last adjustment? You know what? It didn't feel any better. Well, next time I'm going to adjust you harder because I'm Luke Skywalker and I'm going to do something to fix you. No. We're Yoda. We're Yoda. So remember, you're Yoda. The chiropractor, we're Yoda. The patient is Luke Skywalker. Okay, great. Well, that must mean that we need to work on the process so that your body can heal. Okay, now watch this, by the way. Hey, Jim, how did your back pain feel after that last adjustment? You know what? It feels way better. It's fixed. You fixed my back pain. Have you ever had that happen, by the way? You fixed my back pain. And then you're thinking to yourself, oh, crud, well, now do they need care? Like, uh-oh, maybe I'm a little too good. Well, guess what? We're here to help people's back pain. There's nothing wrong with fixing their back pain. The video that we talked about, the doctor's report, just showed them the importance of stabilizing their spine and unpinching their nerves. We're here for the patient. The patient is Luke Skywalker. We don't want to push our plan down their throat. We are the patient. We are Yoda. So we're going to say, in this scenario, we'd say, listen, I'm so grateful that your back is already seeing results. Now we find that, oftentimes within a couple days, the muscles start to tighten back down. Did yours do that? No. It's been great. Like, you fixed it. I'm excited. Where do we go from here? Well, listen, I'm so thankful that it sounds like your body is responding great to corrective chiropractic care. And it may not be quite as bad as we thought, but as you can imagine, we had to move the vertebra back into position. We need to restabilize the muscles, ligaments, and tendons so they're like strengthened like forever. As you can imagine, this is a bigger puzzle. This is a bigger picture. We want to make sure that we get you completely stabilized. So this is like Yoda in the woods, and he has helped Luke to pick up a log. Okay, and actually I think he takes his spaceship or something, whatever. If you're a Star Wars guy, sorry I'm butchering this, but I think he picks up his spaceship out of the mud or something, or maybe Yoda does it. Whatever, teaches him how to do it. Cool. That's all great, but guess what? Yoda is trying to teach Luke to defeat the Death Star, not pick up a log. So I'm excited. Yoda's going to get excited that his student gets a little bit of a win, but he's not going to say, great, you can pick up a log, now go beat the Death Star. No, he's going to say, listen, I'm excited that your back is feeling better. Now it's time to make sure that it's completely fixed. We're going to look at we're going to stabilize your spine so that way it feels better forever, right? Defeating the Death Star isn't just feeling better now, it's feeling better forever. So you need to make sure that we focus the patient on where they need to be focused. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Hopefully I'm getting some people going, oh yeah, that makes sense right there. So Yoda versus Luke Skywalker. We do this all in the form of questioning. Now, how does this work in a new patient exam? Great. And this is, by the way, if you haven't watched the video that we just shot on jobs and sports injuries, this is how we do this in new patient exam. Great, Jim, I see that you are an accountant. And if maybe I see that you're an accountant. Tell me about it. Right? Are you somebody who sits at a desk all day long, or do you travel a bit? Because just get in their head a little bit. You know what? I travel a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. So are you at a desk more or at a car more? 50-50. Oh, man, Jim, we find that a lot of people that are at their desk wind up having a couple issues. A lot of neck and shoulder pain from bending over, and they have that piriformis syndrome, also from driving in your car and sitting at your desk. So you kind of have like a double hit. Jim, I'm glad that you're here. This is exactly what we do, is people just like you. So what do? We're Yoda. Remember, we're not Luke Skywalker. So what that would look like, so if we were Luke Skywalker, that would be us trying to say, hey, Jim, you're an accountant. Yes, I am an accountant. Now let me tell you about what I do. That's me trying to be like, I'm so good. Well, has this process. We are so good at our process. No. It's going to look like this. Jim, you're an accountant. Tell me about it. Do you sit at a desk all day long? Do you drive a car? What do you do? Do you drive a long way? My buddy Kyle's an accountant. He drives all the way to Brentwood from Hendersonville, if you know where that's at in Nashville. That's like an hour every single day there and back. So he's drives an hour, sits for 8 hours, and drives an hour back. What do you think his neck and back look like? They're a mess. He's going to need chiropractic forever, but I'm not going to tell him that I'm his hero. I'm going to tell him what the villain is. Remember, I'm going to say, listen, the bad guy here is sitting and all the bad posture you're doing. The good guy is you fixing it. I'm Yoda. I'm going to teach you what you need to do to fix your back. Does that make sense? So listen, you belong here. So great, so you're an accountant. So I'm getting in your head. I'm saying, okay, so you sit at a desk all day long. I understand that. I feel you. I'm with you. We have a lot of people that do that. So our focus is we understand that the piriformis issues, we understand the neck forward issues, we understand that, and we are really good at helping you to rehab that, and the adjustment will move the vertebra so that when you are doing your thing, it's going to get better and you can continue to be an accountant. Hopefully that makes sense to you all, but we need to be able to ask intelligent questions. So the number one thing that you can get away from this training, obviously besides Yoda versus Luke, is that we do this for intelligent questions, right? Absolutely intelligent questions. I would never, and I never want you to ask a question that you are not expecting to take an answer and use it for some sort of communication, right? For some sort of a communication. So example would be, what kind of car do you drive? I drive a Hyundai Sonata. Great. Next topic. Like, why would I ask you that question? That's the stupidest question to ask anybody if you're not planning on using that information. Hey, Jim, what car do you drive? I drive a Hyundai Sonata. Oh, great. Is that a new one or is that an older one? You know, it's an older one. Well, I tell you what, now Hyundai Sonatas, I don't know if it's anything like my old car, but those seats get broken down and beat up. And if you're driving all day long in your Hyundai Sonata, you're going to have some back issues just from that old seat. So I could imagine that you have low back pain. See how we're using this information? Not just asking a stupid question. We're using information so that we can relate with our patients and they can tell us what's wrong with them because they are Luke Skywalker. We are Yoda. We do that through intelligent questions. And that's number one thing that you need to do with our patients is ask intelligent questions, not waste of time questions, intelligent questions where we respond and use that answer accordingly. I'm Dr. Ben. I hope this helps.